Hello guys, I hope everybody's been keeping good. It's been a while, but I'm back with a bang. So for today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to make this beautiful Princess Dart bustier crop top. Okay, so I have a separate video where I will show you the actual cutting and the sewing, but for this one I'm gonna be doing a pattern only for the bustier, because really for the round skirt it's a very simple process, but I will also be showing you in a separate video. I just don't want this video to be too long. Okay, so as you can see, it has like that bust. It's exaggerated a little bit because I have put in the breast pads, so it's not just fabric. But let's just get right into it, you guys. Oh, and again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for all my subscribers. Thank you. So here's the pattern that I will be using, the pattern paper. So I'm gonna be dividing it into two equal parts. So I'm gonna be making a line in the middle. This is going to accommodate the drawing for the front piece as well as the back piece. So we will be using the right side now for the front piece. I'm just making a line there as a baseline. We will use this as a shoulder line. So I'm gonna try and not fast forward most of the process, just so that you guys can see every step. I have marked 3 right there, 3 inches for the wideness of my neck, and for the depth of the neck I also went for 3 inches. And now I'm just connecting the 2 marks. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure my shoulder. It's 14 shoulder to shoulder measurements. So I divided that by 2, got a 7, and put it right there. And then I went down by 1 inch just to create that shoulder slope. So we're gonna start with our bust point. Mine is 9, always a 9. Then you're gonna mark yours right there. This is your shoulder line to your breast point or your nipple point. That is your bust point. So for me it's a 9, so I'm making marks right there. So I also went 2 inches above the bust point. This one we will call it the chest line. I just went 2 inches above the bust line. So now guys, I will be marking also the under bust, because as you can see, this top, it requires that it snatches the waist. It just becomes so defined even under the bust to the waist, yet it accommodates the breasts nicely. So we have gone 3 inches below the bust line to mark our under bust, and then I went for 15 inches to mark my waist point, and then I went for 16 and a half to mark the length of my top. So I'm just connecting all of those dots that I have marked using a straight line. You're gonna do exactly as I do it, you guys, if you wanna get it right. Follow me. It's important that you make these lines. They're gonna help you also even during your cutting. I will show you a little trick of how this will help you, especially with the nudging the under bust area, so that you don't end up having the asymmetrical situation. So I have just labeled everything there. CL is chest line, then we have the bust line, under bust, waistline, and the length. So I'm making a straight line from the chest line up to the shoulder point, just a straight line there. It's gonna help us make a nice round shoulder measurement. So I'm checking the measurement of that line. I want the middle point, so it's a 6, the midpoint is 3. I made a marker right there. Then I'm going in by half an inch, made a mark there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure our bust circumference. Mine is a 34, then we divide that by 4. It's 8.5 for me. So we're making a mark right there. Now we're connecting that point, and this point. That is the shoulder point, and that point in the middle to the 8.5 mark that we have just determined. Now let's join all those points together to create a shoulder slope that looks good. All right. So now we're measuring our nipple to nipple measurement. Mine is a 7, meaning I have to mark 3.5. Your nipple to nipple, guys, divide that by 2. Mine, it's about 3.5. From the under bust going down, we're gonna take out half an inch. That's like 0.5. So when I take out 0.5, I will end up having to mark the 3. So this you will do only for the under bust area, the waistline, and the chest. Once you are done with that, remember on this last 3 points, you would have minus 0.5 from your nipple to nipple. Then connect those lines just as I am doing. From this point, you connect it to that middle point. You remember the one that we just determined earlier on. Just connect this new line to that point. Do you see how the shape is already forming? It looks beautiful. Now we want to create the dart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out from that line by 2 inches. Follow me, you guys. We're just going to go out by 2 inches. I'm gonna make a mark right there. It starts from the length, the waistline, and the under bust. You end it at the under bust. Don't go above the under bust. Now, from the under bust, we're gonna use a curve ruler. We're gonna use a curve to join it back to that point. My recorder decided to stop recording. I realized, I think just a few minutes into the recording, so it's fine. I had already made a dart. I believe you can still follow that part. So now I want to show you what I did. So I did use a curve, this ruler of mine, and then this is what I did here. I just skewed it like that, and then I was able to create that curve going into that midsection of my bust line right there on that point. So what I did is, now here at the top, remember that midpoint, I went down by 2 inches as well here, and then I put a mark right there. Okay, then after putting a mark right there, I made a line, sort of a curve line from that point also to that point. Now these 2 inches that we are taking out, if we can just leave the fabric as is, it's gonna short, it's not gonna be able to help us to really connect both pieces. So we had to extend this line that we made by 2 inches upwards. I hope you guys are following me. So we had to extend that line by 2 inches upwards, and then create another bust point on the chest line. Remember, this was our initial bust point, our 8.5. Yeah? So we had to look at how much of the inches is that dart taking from this measurement, and it was about 0.5. Okay, and then we just took that 0.5 of the dart and we added it back here. We added it back here. Okay, I just wanna grab my measuring tape and show you. So the 0.5 that we got here, we added it back, and then we added 1 inch. The 1 inch that we added is for the seam allowance. I hope you guys understand. Now at the bust line, there is no dart. As you can see, the bust line does not have a dart, so it will still be at an 8.5. We just added 1 inch, so it's a 9.5. The 1 inch is for the seam allowance. We did the same for the under bust. My under bust is 28, so when I divide 28 by 4, I get a 7. Ne? But remember the 2 inches that we are taking out, we have to add them back, we have to replace them. Okay, so that is why it's a 9, and then 1 inch for seam allowance. The same thing even for the waistline, it's a 7. We took out the 2 inches there on the dart, so we must add them back. It makes it a 9, and we added 1 inch for seam allowance, and the same for the waist. You guys, it is actually that simple. You are done. You're basically done. So I want to cut it out, but before I do that, I just, so that you are not confused, let me rather do the back side. I might as well, because I had already extended or copied the same lines from the other side. I just extended them to this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same with the neck measurements. I'm going out by 3 inches for the depth. I mean for the wideness of my neck, I'm putting it there at 3, and then I'm gonna make the depth the same, 3 again. So let's connect the dots. Right, I hope you guys are following. It's very simple, you guys. the 7, you remember shoulder to shoulder, mine it's 14 divided by 2, it's a 7. Then we go down with 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Let's make our line. Beautiful. Our straight line going to the chest line. Very basic. Let's go. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead, but remember for the back side we don't really need to make a shoulder point at this point, the shoulder hole. Let's go ahead and do the same thing that we did for the front piece, but here there's no need for us to adjust our nipple to nipple, so we're gonna put it at 3.5 from the bust line all the way down to the waist and to the length. It's the same. We are creating a dart for the back side. Okay, so you will see that it will look slightly different because we're just gonna take out 1 inch. All right, our dart will just be 1 inch, unlike the 2 inches for the front piece, and it will not have the same shape. It will just be a straight one. So we have marked just below the bust line, we've marked 1/2 inch. Okay, so then let's connect those dots that we've marked, and then we extend the line to just before the bust line. No, before the chest line. That's what I'm doing right now. So next I want us to go out by just 1/2 inch. So it's because we are taking 1 inch of a dart out on the waistline, hence we are going 1/2 inch on each side. Now what we are doing is we are connecting that point to the end of that line that we made there. Okay, so now we are just connecting that back to the length of our top. So what we're going to do now is measure the midpoint of this shoulder line to chest line, and then I made a marker here. So guys, when I was here, my recorder decided to stop recording, but then I just, from that mark that I made, I just made a curve to the chest line after I had measured the circumference of my bust, which is 8.5 plus 1 inch, right, for the seam allowance. And I did the same thing for the bust line. It's 8.5, remember, and then I just added 1 inch for a seam allowance. Then I added that 1/2 inch for the dart. I did the same even for the under bust. It's a 7, and then I determined the size of that dart. It was almost 1 inch. I added that and the seam allowance, so it was a 7 for the circumference divided by 4, then 8 for the seam allowance, and then 9 to add that dart. I did the same even for the waistline, which is a 7 plus 1 inch of a dart and 1 inch for the seam allowance, which made it a 9. And then it was the same thing even for the length. It is simple. Do you guys believe and agree with me that it's simple? Let's cut it now. It is very simple, and it came out so beautifully. All right, So we're basically done. So guys, if you have watched this video even to this point and you haven't clicked on the subscribe button, what are you waiting for? You've literally become family now. Click now the subscribe button, notification bell, like this video, and just give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching not only this video and all of my videos, and thank you for subscribing and helping grow this channel. I love you guys. I appreciate you. We are done, and I don't want to be done. I like talking to you guys. Now I have to stop talking because we are done. But please come back and watch now the video where I would have taken these pattern pieces, placed them on the actual fabric, and cut the fabric, and then sew the top. On that video, I will also somewhat be showing you how to make the circle skirt. It's gonna be fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you are coming back for more. I pray that you do. I pray that God keeps you. I pray that God's face may shine upon you, that He may be gracious towards you and your loved ones. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. We are basically done. We are done. I'm just gonna finish off by cutting the back piece. I want to show you something. This is the magic that I spoke to you earlier on. You see on the underbust, right on the underbust, remember this is where we're going to start shaping to accommodate the breast. The reason why I'm putting a notch there is because we need to make sure that these two pieces, when we place them together, they align. So it's important to notch this even on your fabric. I'm making the notches already so that when I cut, I don't forget where must I make the notches. So you guys must do this. And even when you sew, I will show you. You must make sure that if need be, you start sewing from the bottom up, just so that these 2 points can match each other, can marry each other. It's really a big deal. It's such a big deal that these 2 points do meet. I'm indicating there that this is a side front and a center front. The center front is in a fold, and the other one is times 2 pieces. So now let's cut the back piece. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day or beautiful evening, depending on where you're watching this from. I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Bye bye. See you on my next one. Okay, bye.